The HVAC overtime show guys were unable to make it tonight. So when I see that happen, I'm on it, making a thumbnail, putting the live up. We're going live because I know there's people out there who are itching for some HVAC content. And, your favorite show isn't coming on Friday nights. So here I am to make it like pick up the slack. Why not? So hopefully somebody watches tonight. If not, it's going to be a very short and sweet thing here. I'm in my spaceship. Look at me hovering above the Earth's surface. You see the sun back there? Pretty nice, right? I mean, look at this highly like the technology going on in here. I can just touch my fingertips. Boom. Who do we got here in the chat? Jason Johnson's here. Brian Sanders, Jesus Tapia, HVAC Grapevine. Pick up the slack. HVAC obsessed. Everybody's here. Very happy you guys are here. So I'm going to be putting a link in. So if anybody out there in the chat wants to come on to the show, Comfort Medic and AC, Comfort Medic AC and heating is here. So very happy. I really have no plan. I was just hanging out, waiting for the overtime show to come on. And then I saw they weren't coming on. So I was like, it's time for double time. Like, that's my thing, HVAC overtime. Well, when they can't do it, it's double time. Everybody likes double time, right? Jason Johnson says he's tired as hell starting at 6 this morning. So Jason Johnson, very good to see you. Will Speed is here. Hey, Will, how are you? Hopefully everybody out there had a great week at work. I certainly did. My daughter's coming over here. Come on, sweetheart. Come say hello to the come on. You want to say anything? It's not an official show. We're picking up the slack for the overtime, guys. If you want to say something, right here in this mic.
Hello, everybody.
That's my daughter, Finley. All right, get out of here.
Sorry, I'm kind of a wreck. I had a long day.
We've all had a long day. And you know what? It's an 8-year-old that tells you, it really brings it home. And, when an 8-year-old had a long day, we've all had a long day. So very happy to see everybody here. Pat, Nasty HVACR, everything HVACR. Steve is in the house. So awesome. Guys, I don't know what we're talking about, what we're doing here. I don't even know why I did this, but we're in a spaceship hovering above Earth's surface. The overtime guys clearly couldn't do it tonight, so it's up to the Hughes man to pick it up. And so I'm going to go right now. I'm going to copy the link. All right. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put it here in the chat. And anybody that wants to come on tonight is welcome. Because why not? I've got no guest. I've got no co-host. I don't know what I'm doing. I just decided to throw it together. HVAC double time. So here we go. Anybody going to partake? Anybody going to take me up on my offer? Anyway, HVAC, all you guys are in HVAC. We're all hanging out. I mean, what's everybody doing at home? That's one thing I've never understood. Fridays, Saturday nights. Does nobody go out and do anything anymore? Or do they just hang out at home and watch stuff on the internet? Finley, you're really distracting me. I'm trying to talk. Okay, there we go. Anyway, tomorrow night, we've got a great guest. You guys all know on the Misfits of HVAC podcast. I hope you guys all carry on over tomorrow and check out the show. We've got Brett Wetzel. I mean, everybody knows him, right? The Wetzel, Pretzel, Swetzel. Brett's coming on. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but I can almost guarantee I won't get a word in edgewise because the dude's a talker. I mean, he's like a low key, he's a talker. So we got Brett Wetzel on the show. Jennifer it will be there, hopefully, of course. And if you guys haven't checked out Jennifer's new podcast, I believe it's called oh shit. I'm trying to plug her podcast. Oh boy. Babe, what's Jennifer's podcast called? It's Jennifer. Sorry about that. Christ almighty. Can't forget. Can't remember. Will Speed says, I'm still working here at my control center using 3 computers and 4 screens trying to figure this building out. Good luck with that. He's like, Chris won't stop talking. I'm assuming you're talking about Brett. Wealth of knowledge too. Yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge. Shot. What the what? Isn't it Friday? Yes, Susie Dunn. It is Friday. Apparently the overtime show guys aren't on tonight, so I thought I'd just come on here and see who stumbled into this mess. Let me find. I'm like horrible. I'm like, I know I produced Jennifer's podcast and I can't remember the freaking name of it now because I'm like, duh. But anyway, guys, I put the link in the chat. So I really need somebody to come on or this thing's going to last like 10 minutes. So please, somebody click the link here. I'll put it in again. Paste. Boom. I want to talk to anybody. Come on the show. Misfits of HVAC. There it is. StreamYard link. Click it. There we go. Comfort Medic.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
What's up, brother? It's been
Same
a while.
old crap.
Man.
Been pretty good, man. Did an install yesterday, and had a fan motor from Hades the other day. Couldn't get the blade off.
All right. Slow down. Before you get started.
Yes, sir.
What's your name? Who are you? Introduce yourself to the people.
I'm Ted's son. My father, Ted's son, Zaya, with Comfort Medic AC and Heating. And we're a premier HVAC service provider in the state of Louisiana.
Yes, he is. And I've known Zaya for quite a while now. So
yes,
very
sir.
nice to see you again, bro. How are you? And like you jumped right off the bat on that. What were you getting into? What were you working on?
I was working on a 10-ton carrier 2-stage package unit that we put in back in 2012. We ended up, giving the contract over to the new business owner. He was using his AC guy and his air conditioning technician that pretty much destroyed the unit. He disabled. Go ahead.
Let me cut you off here real quick. One second.
Yes, sir.
Real quick. I got to address something here.
Yes, sir.
Where is it? Where's this guy? I've watched this dude's content. I like his content, but bro, the constant negativity and comments you give towards my co-host Jen, it really pisses me off, bro. I get it.
Yes,
you might not like her. I'm not talking to you, Zay. I'm talking to this guy, my HVAC lift. I get it, dude. We get it. All right.
Yep.
So we get it, man. Enough with it already.
Yes, as a matter of fact, he's actually started trouble with Zach, Quality Comfort, Ted, and John. He started trouble with in the past.
I like the dude's content. I think he puts out a good product, but bro, you're rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. And
right,
like, get it. If you've got a personal problem with her, it is what it is. But come on, man, enough already.
Right.
I mean, and that you could do what you want, but Christ Almighty.
Yes, sir. Anyway, I agree with that.
Let's move on. Zaya, you've been in the comments, and I've seen you on multiple live streams multiple times. I'm really happy to see you. I'm glad you're doing well, my friend. I'm not cutting you off, but I did open it up to everybody. So we've got another guest on the show now.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brian Sanders. Let's welcome him to the show. Mr.
Welcome,
Sanders.
Brian. What's up, brother?
Hey, guys. What's up?
Same old, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Had a good last day at my former employer, getting ready to start a new journey next week.
Congrats, my brother. Congrats.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. And if nobody knows already, Mr. Brian Sanders will be a featured guest on the Misfits of HVAC coming up here in the weeks to come. I got to look at my calendar to see exactly when, but we got Brett Wetzel next week. Oh, and then Brian Sanders the following week. And you know what? I don't think that was scheduled. I mean, that was like scheduled months ago. So pretty interesting. Zaya, I didn't want to cut you off, so you can please continue with what you were saying. Sorry.
Yes, sir. If y'all follow our Facebook page, Ryan, you're going to see this Carrier 10-ton package unit we've installed since back in 2012. The business owner called us out for no cooling, and the previous technician, when we took over the account again, cut out every high pressure switch and low pressure switch on the system, and cut out the communicating, control board feed that controls the system, and wired the outdoor fan motor and blower assembly to one contactor, and hooked up both compressors to one contactor as well, and turned the system into a one-stage unit. So I told my dad told the business owner today, look, you got two options. You could spend $6 to $7 grand straightening out this system, finding the leak, and recharging the system with 410A, or spend 16 to 17 grand changing the system. But as of right now, I'm not letting this thing become my headache. So we pretty much told him right there and then that if you want to change the system, we'll do it, but we're pretty much done messing with it. So.
Yeah, I've run into some rooftop units. We had a York. The dude, you know how like the York boards, they're in that long, skinny compartment right on the left-hand side. They always fill up with water and whatnot. If the stuff is, we had a guy, he went out, he bypassed every pressure switch, like right at the board. The two wires coming out from the board cut and bypassed, and it was a complete mess. It had leaks. Coils were dirty. It was a total nightmare.
Yeah.
So I can hear you on that one.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brian Sanders. I mean, was it you that was in Pittsburgh and saw my cards on the board at 511 Tactical?
I was. Yeah,
yes.
We were up there shopping, and I was looking at the bulletin board there, and I told my wife, I'm like, I know that guy. Yeah, and I think I sent you an Instagram message and told you, and you're like, what? Next Tech's taking over business. What's going on?
I did. Yes. I did. I thought you guys were taking over our accounts, but yeah, I've got no shame. Anytime I see a bulletin board where you can like post up like business cards, because I went to AHR, I made all these business cards, right? Now I've got like 500 of them. So I'm like, why not? I'll just stick them up there, pop them in. What's the oh man, this guy can't be jealous when I know my stuff. Yeah, we get it, man. Everybody knows their stuff. This dude, I'm kind of conflicted on it because I like the guy's content. I think he knows what he said. He puts out a decent product as far as a YouTube channel goes, but he's relentless on the negativity. Are you guys negative like that? I'm not. I get some negative comments on my channel. I just kind of say thanks. I appreciate the constructive criticism, but sometimes, I mean, and it's to the point now where it's like, I don't know. I got to start defending my people, man. Jennifer's a good girl. Yeah. Can she interrupt a little bit? Sure she can. But what the hell, man?
Right. But matter of fact, when I tell some of the guys on my Facebook on our business page that criticizes, I say, hey man, I respect your opinion about say Daikin and ICP, but I haven't had any issues with them, and I'm gonna keep installing
them. No doubt.
It's not Jennifer's fault. She likes caffeine.
Right. She's like me, Brian. I love caffeine.
I put that link in the chat yet again because I mean, if the dude wants to come on and talk about it, feel free.
Right.
I mean, there's the link. My HVAC life. Can't be jealous when I know there it is. KC, my HVAC life is right about Jen. I mean, a lot of people got their opinions, but you know what? You don't have to tune into the show. You don't have to watch. You don't have to like it. In fact, I'd rather people not tune in than give like the negativity and the I personally think Jen has added and increased the everything for the show for me. If it was just me, it wouldn't be near where it is. She's well
Exactly.
respected in the field. I mean, Brian Sanders knows, right? She's a smart cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, she helped me out a lot when I first started out with with
No, you're
training
good.
and stuff. And yeah, I've got no
Yep.
problems with her. She's a good person, very good person.
Yep, no doubt. You know who else is good people?
Yes, sir.
Everything HVACR. You guys
Oh, I
know
know Steve.
Steve?
Good videos.
Yeah, Steve's good. Steve is
Steve,
a good dude.
Steve-O's the man.
He is the man.
Yep.
I like Steve. I got to personally meet Steve in Chicago. It was the first time because I've become good friends with Steve and Rick from HVACR Survival. And I got to meet them both actually in person in Chicago. It was so cool because, you know, these are just people that I knew online. And me and Steve and Rick kind of had some history because we did Rick's live stream every Sunday night for, I don't know, better part of a year. It was really nice to get to meet Steve and Rick. And it was funny because just a quick like story about AHR, but we were all hungry. We were all walking around AHR in Chicago. We were hungry as shit. All of us needed to eat. Laura was there, Rick's wife. And we waited because they only had one central location for food at the AHR Expo. So we all waited in line and we bitched and complained and we were all starving and we were all hungry and we waited and waited and waited. And Steve and Rick will tell you. And then by the time we got up there, they had nothing left. They had like some crappy sandwiches and everything that like we wanted to eat was gone. And then all the kitchen staff, the people that were like, you know, work manning the site, we're like, we don't have this, we don't have that. And Steve ended up eating. I wasn't so hungry that I like had to eat, but Rick, he was pissed. And I don't know if you've seen a mad Rick Dermeyer ever, but it's not a pretty sight. I can tell you that right now. So, Ryan, tell us a little bit more. I mean, you don't have to get in depth or give any details that you don't want to give, but you've like moved on from your job. You've come up a little bit because I see the stuff that you're working on. You're working on coolers and freezers, and you're going on Instagram Live. I pop on when I can. You want to give us a little bit of insight on what's going on with you and where you're heading, like at this point, or no?
Yeah, no, it's not any big secret or anything like that. And uh, was working at Next Tech as a commercial technician, and I loved it there. No problems. It's a good job, very good job. And then
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to go to CoolSys. Um, I'm making no secret. I really want to get into rack refrigeration, and just as far as that stuff goes, that's like I put a post on today. Was working on a Dollar Tree store. I had to go through a grocery store to get roof access and go into their rack room because that's where the roof access was. And I mean, I was like totally geeking out big time. Like I didn't want to leave that. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, with Next Tech, they don't do rack refrigeration. They do commercial HVAC, and I guess you'd call it light refrigeration.
Sure.
And at CoolSys, I mean, they do everything from what I was doing to industrial. So, that's the opportunities there to do pretty much whatever I feel I want to get into. And so jump ship. I'm going to CoolSys. I start Monday, and I'm looking forward to the opportunities. Really, it's going to be a good time, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. Next Tech, I've seen. We used to have a lot of the Dollar Generals, a lot of them. In fact, when I first started at the company I'm at, that's all we did. That's like we had, I don't know, $1 billion Generals. I was driving hours on end to go work on pretty much absolute garbage HVAC equipment, just very poorly installed, just horrible, systems. And but then Next Tech, I mean, we lost the account, not because we did anything wrong, but a lot of these accounts on these commercial, like these cheap, they switch. Like we've got them and lost them and then got them again the next year. Next Tech, though, they're a pretty big company. All right, guys, we've got another guest. Welcome to the, what is this thing called? HVAC Double Time Show. Anytime the HVAC Overtime Show can't
Yes,
go,
sir.
I'm coming on. Double time, baby. Let's welcome Will Speed to the show. What's up, brother?
What's up,
Hey,
brother?
Will.
What's going on, brother?
How in the hell are you?
Tired, man.
Just in case nobody knows who you are, what you do, you want to give us a little introduction to Will Speed, Will G Speed, is how I know you on a lot of social media.
That's, I'm Will. I am a 20+ year controls guy, specialized in critical environments, labs, and hospitals and all that kind of stuff. So I just got changed in position back into sales and engineering side. So
Yeah.
I've been working with that for 4 days.
Nice. I gotta ask, the control side of it. Were you just a regular schlub HVAC guy before you got into controls? How did you give us a little insight on that? I'm just curious.
Well, actually, I got into controls through a friend. Actually, I was doing high purity piping inspection for pharmaceuticals.
All right.
Spent a few years doing that and sort of got an opportunity to go into the control side of things. Basically, sort of the same thing that I still do to this day.
Nice.
So, yeah, I've been doing that for a long while. I've done a few other things in between, but I'm back at it and kind of just got pulled out of the field and back into the sales side of it. So here we are.
Awesome.
Just got back from South America on a sales trip down there. Yeah, I just got back from Chile.
That's awesome. Dude, I don't get out of Pennsylvania unless I'm going to Cleveland. Then I'm like out for 20, a couple hours. That's awesome.
No, yeah, very lucky at that.
That's awesome. So what's South America like? Chile, huh?
Oh, Chile's beautiful. Santiago, it's basically where we were at the capital. I didn't get to see much other than the inside of offices and sheet metal shops, and actually did a presentation at a trade show down there along with the ashtray folks. Got to meet the ashtray folks from down there. And
awesome.
Hey, just Chile is gorgeous. Honestly, Santiago is gorgeous. I'll probably throw some few pictures up there.
I got to bring it up. Do you watch Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad?
Oh, watch them completely. Nothing like that.
Wasn't you don't watch any of that, huh? No, you do.
No, I have. I've seen both shows.
Well, the dude, what's the guy, the chicken guy that owned the chicken?
Gus
Fring. He's from Chile.
Yeah.
I mean, did you run into any cartel business down there? I'm sure you didn't, but
no, none of that stuff.
What an awesome show that was. Really was. There's been nothing like it since it went off the air. But did you get into Better Call Saul, like the prequel?
Didn't get into Better Call Saul that much. I did watch Breaking Bad, like just all the seasons, one shot.
I loved Better Call Saul. It was like, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. In fact, I'd watch it again. Sanders, Zaya, I gotta ask now that it's been presented. Better Call Saul. Have you watched it? What do you think? No.
No, sir.
I
I have
have.
not.
Ah, Brian Sanders has. Nice.
Yeah, I have. It was tough to kind of get into at first.
It was. It was a slow build. It was a
Yeah.
slow build, but the end was insane. I loved it was very good. It was a very well written show. That if I could be like a film producer, that would be the style I'd want to do it in. It was awesome. Anyway.
Yeah, I like the dichotomy between him and his brother. His brother's quote unquote allergicness to electronics, and yeah, that
Yes. It was good. And you know, he was you guys know Lenny and Squiggy, right? From Laverne and Shirley, or is everybody too young for that? But that's the dude that was like one of the two, Lenny or Squiggy. Yeah.
I think I think it was Lemmy, because Squiggy was the little
Lenny.
short guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and the dude that played Saul's brother, the one with the electric allergy, was also in what's that heavy metal parody movie?
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, which was, dude, I watched Spinal Tap when I was a teenager. The first time I saw it, I didn't realize it was a parody until like 3/4 of the way in.
Remember, the amps go up to 11.
Up to 11, no doubt. That's awesome. Oh my goodness.
And then Gus from Breaking Bad was in The Mandalorian. He was
oh, really?
Yeah, he was the one that carried the dark sword. Yeah.
All right. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I can get into it. In fact, we have to watch Star Wars now because my daughter bought a bunny and decided to name it Luke, and then realized after she named it Luke that there was a character named Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. So of course, 8-year-old logic is like, now I have to watch that movie. And we only have it on VHS, and luckily I decided to edit all of our old VHS tapes to digital for my whole family a couple years ago. So I had to get a VCR. So I'm like, I still have a VCR. Do you guys have a VCR?
I still have mine, original one from when I was a kid.
Nice.
No, unfortunately, I don't.
I don't use it for much now, but I needed it for to edit those videos into digital. Mr. Perfect HVAC. Does he have a YouTube channel? He must. I see the little YouTube icon next. I'll have to check him out. He says he loves Ted's channel. And if we're talking about Ted, we're talking about anti-DIY HVAC.
Yep.
So if anyone else wants to creep on into this weird live stream I just decided to do for no particular reason tonight, here's a link. Come on. Why not? We've got Will Speed, Brian Sanders, Zaya, Comfort Medic, HVAC and cooling in the house. Very nice. Anybody who wants to start the conversation now? I'm going Zaya.
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, Ryan, I know Will Speed does commercial controls for HVAC.
Yes.
I actually started getting into it a little bit, wiring up the energy management thermostats. I just started getting into them. And that's when I got addicted with wiring up commercial controls, like setting up my own energy management systems.
Nice.
And I got to say, they're pretty freaking sweet.
Oh yeah. When you start getting into the commercial, especially the heavier commercial stuff, when you're dealing with larger buildings, you know, the stuff that has fans, air handlers, chilled water, steam or reheat. It gets to be a lot of fun. It gets to be a lot of fun.
Shoot. Well, my camera came unhooked. Looks like
it's all good. It actually looks better now that it's just the emoji. No, I'm just playing.
Let me try to fix this and hope I don't blow nothing up in the process.
We've run into we have a store. It's a Victoria's Secret in a mall that is all mall supplied water, right? You got an air handler in there. We've got an outside air damper. We've got a chilled water valve, and we've had nothing but problems with people that like nobody knows who controls this. I don't know if you've heard of the company Sodexo. They're a control,
Yeah,
you call them
they're building managers.
Yeah, I used to work for them actually in Youngstown. It was a Roth Sodexo, but
Mhm.
Sodexo bought the company Roth, and then I moved on from them, and I'm at the company now. But it's always a total nightmare. You get a guy on the phone. Hey, we've got an issue here. I've tested it. Mechanically, things are working, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure. Is it EMS? Is it controls? What
Well,
would you?
normally when you have that, where you've got like tenant build out stuff, and you've got water being metered into an air handler, and you've got a fresh air damper,
Yes,
that control is usually owned by the store.
the mall. Oh, the mall or the store?
No, the store, because basically the mall stops here at the
Yeah,
flange where they have the shutoff valve.
sure.
Anything from here on, that's on you. And
Because it's
usually they already have a company that should be the same one that does the BMS for the mall itself, tie into that.
yes.
But
Well,
it's usually a problem of who's paying.
that's the thing because I'll call for technicals. I get sent there saying, "Hey, we're hot." So the first thing I do when I get there is I go to the mall and I say, "Is your cooling working?" Right off the bat, because I know their blower's working. So are you cooling water here? Are you supplying cool to them? Yes, everything's working. So then I go to the store. Then I'm like, all right, your blower's working. Is your outdoor air damper open? Is it closed? What's going on? And then I call. I call the company that says they're controlling it, and they always want a work order. They won't talk to me unless they have a PO.
Yeah,
And
that
I'm
PO
like,
needs to come from the store.
yes. But then the store says, well, I don't know. We called them. And then I'm like, they need to call them. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I even doing here? Can't
It's the
you people?
Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. 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 Like this. Can't you people figure it out before I get here? Because guess what? I'm not even needed. You idiots could just communicate between yourselves, you know?
No,
Because,
they just don't do that. Even I've had issues in facilities where the literally emergency call. It's a
yeah.
4-hour drive for me on a Friday at 5. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, guys, did you check your building management? Are the pumps running? How's the floor temperature? Because you're freezing everything out, so you're not getting reheat there. Oh yeah. Everything's working. Everything's working. I'm like, okay, on the clock right now. You're paying for the 4-hour drive. You're paying a minimum 8-hour emergency call at our emergency rate, and you're paying for the 4 hours I'm going to be driving back home. Yeah, no problem. Here's a PO. Drive down. Some genius decided that just because this is a 7-story hospital, by the way, a wing of a 7-story hospital. Somebody decided to save energy by shutting off one of there's 3 reheat water pumps, 2 running, 1 on backup. Oh, we can run it on 1. It'll save some power.
No, it didn't. It caused an enormous headache for everybody involved.
Yeah, so they call me 4 hours away. I get there, I touch the reheat water piping. It's at 50 degrees. I'm like, what's going on? Walk downstairs. Let me see your BMS. Pump 1 on, pump 2 off, pump 3 off. I'm like, guys, 2 pumps. That's how this thing is designed. You got to overcome the head of that 7-story building. They're like, oh, like, sign here. I'll be sending you an invoice.
And thank
Hey
you
Ryan,
very much.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Brian, nice to see you again,
Nice to
bro.
meet you.
And
Nice to
guys,
finally meet you,
everybody,
Brian.
Yeah, nice to
the
meet everybody.
Have a good one.
check out the Misfits of HVAC coming up in 2 weeks. Brian Sanders, the featured guest. We're going to have an in-depth conversation with him. Me and
Yeah.
Jennifer, who apparently some people don't like so much in this chat, but whatever. We love her over here, and that's all there is. Brian, thank you very much, sir. We'll see you soon.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes,
All
sir. See you guys.
Yep. Take
But
care.
just going back to sort of what I was saying there, it's pretty funny because and actually I bought a t-shirt, the Facebook group, Building Automation, Phil Zito, great guy, super smart, by the way. He sold t-shirts at the Atlanta show, AHR show, because it's always the control's fault, and that's what the t-shirt reads. It's the control's fault.
Yeah. I've had either, there's some EMS and controls guys and like companies I'll call that are just great. And then there's others that are just, it's a complete nightmare. It's a total shit show to even deal with them. And sometimes I'm like, before I even get sent out there, why don't we call them before we're even like dispatched to the site? Because half the time I get there, they want a PO, and they're like, we won't even talk to you until we get the work order, whatever, the numbers.
Yeah. One of the things that I see it over and over, and it also happens if whoever's in the building, whoever's supposed to be there. And this is the downside of a lot of the automation. I've had people, hey, my building's not working. I've got all the pressures in the rooms are supposed to be negative. They're neutral or positive. Your system is not working. So I'm like, okay, drive 3 hours, get in there, look at the system. All my things are an alarm. Everything is an alarm.
Yeah.
I'm going like, okay, this alarm means that you don't have enough fan. Oh yeah, but look at the BMS. The fans are running. Did somebody actually go up to the roof and actually see the fans?
Get eyes on it.
Yeah, like, let's take a look at this. And I'm not talking like a building that's so massive that you got to walk 2 miles to get to the end of it. This is not the Boeing production line.
Yeah.
Very simple. Go up an elevator, go up one flight of stairs, walk out onto the roof. They're like, no, yeah, it's all working. Look, you can see here. Like, well, just because your CTs are made, just because it's reading amperage, doesn't mean that the fan's actually turning. We get out there to the roof. And I mean, this is a massive fan. I think it's a triple fan, moves over 150,000 CFM.
Yeah.
One of the fans, destroyed all the bearings, pieces of bearings on the roof. Like,
is it a common fan? So it's like running backwards when the other ones are running.
It's common plenum, but it does have an isolation damper. But since it was calling to be on, that isolation damper was open. So it was sucking air back through it. And I mean, the fan couldn't turn it. Just literally the pillow blocks puked all the bearings out. It was,
I went on one where the mall called. They initiated the service call and said it's all water source cooling. They have water coils, air handler blowing over that. They were like, it was the dead of winter. It was this winter. It was very cold. They were like, our mixed air sensor showing to like 22 degrees. They're going to freeze this coil. Apple is right below them. Of course, now it's a big problem. I get there. I'm like, it's like 70 degrees. They put their mixed air sensors in before the mixed air damper. So it was actually reading the outside air temperature. And I'm like, I said, you're good. And that's where this whole mess opened up, because I then moved the mixed air sensor in towards the water coil in the mixed air box. You got your return air, your outside air. And I said, okay, now we need to make some adjustments to the system here. So everything is, I'm the mechanical guy, the blower's running, this and that. And they were like, well, we don't control that. The mall controls that. And I was like, I don't know. I said, we had a guy here before. It said you controlled that. And they're like, well, we need a PO if you want us to control that. And I'm like, well, I don't know what. I said, guess what? Mixed air sensor is going back where it was, and we'll come back in 4 or 5 months when, and the customer wants to be comfortable here. They're trying to sell panties. It's a Victoria's Secret. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to be freezing or sweating their asses off. I see Mr. Perfect's mentor came in. What's up, buddy? Is that you tapping away on your keyboard?
That was me.
No picture, no video.
What? What do you mean?
Your camera's not on, Ted.
What?
It's not on.
Oh,
This happens every
What
time
do
we
you
join the
mean?
hangout.
No, I got it right here. It's lit up.
What the
well,
heck?
welcome to the show. You look good. You look great. Anyway, would you
Oh,
like to
yeah.
introduce? Would you like to introduce yourself to the people who are
Actually,
watching?
That's probably the best I've ever looked right there. The picture I'm seeing, man.
Is this Ted Cook?
That is correct.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you were anti DIY HVAC, Mr. Ted.
I am. I just stuck that thing on there because the Mr. Perfect thing. Y'all don't know who that is. You don't know what that's all about.
I
Have
do
you
not.
seen Zach on Quality HVAC? His name's Zach, and he's very artistic with his editing abilities. He really makes good videos.
He does.
Zach
He does.
something. Zach.
Zach Deschardins, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
is what
yeah,
his name
yeah.
is. Yeah.
So there's a few of us that call him Mr. Perfect because he edits his videos so perfectly. So, I mean, I just kind of play along. I'm not the one that actually. Oh,
No,
dude,
that's-
you got to click this little thing that says Start Cam, don't you?
Yes, there he
There
is.
you go,
Oh,
Ted.
now I know who the hell I'm talking to.
No, I was
Ted.
sitting here like I
Let
thought
me
I was
just-
here.
Can I just interject real quick? I started watching you a while ago. I was watching your videos, and then you did the your home office or your office remodel where you bought the building and you were remodeling the building. And I really got pulled in at that point. I was like, yes, this is awesome. I stuck
yeah.
around for all of that. I loved that whole series where you had bought the building and rehabbing the building. And then I saw that like the water line blew up in the driveway. Like
Yeah,
Destroyed
building
the
had
whole
to get
place,
washed.
man.
spit fucking rocks everywhere and busted out a bunch of windows.
Took
And
out 3 vans.
yes,
Came
that
to
was
work
cra-
one morning, 3 vans trashed.
yeah, and it like washed all the shit out on the edge of the building, and it was crazy. And if guys, if you are new to Ted and anti DIY HVAC, that's a mouthful. Go check out his channel. He's got great content. He really does. I love.
Who's
I
that
love-
guy?
It's Will
That's-
Speed.
How you doing, man?
Doing good, Ted. How about you?
Do you have a channel, or are you just like
Nope.
Hanging
just
out?
a lurker.
just
I
a
got
lurker.
you. And I know
Ted's
who that
good.
dummy up there is?
Yeah,
That's
Ted.
the fake Z man.
Ted's a
That's
good
the-
dude. He really is. I like Ted because he's a lot like me. He gets his mouth, he called me an asshole once on I forget what podcast we were on. I was like, fucking Ted, what the fuck is that
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least you knew I probably meant it.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Wow, what'd
get-
you say that
Pissed you
What?
off?
yeah, no, you didn't do that, but I'm sure you just said or did something that made me say that. Why'd I say that?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look, but I was hurt by it. I was like, fucking Ted, I like this dude. I really
Come
like this
on.
series. I was like, what the fuck is that? This fucking guy, fucking Ted, called me a fucking asshole and shit. I was like,
I probably didn't even do that. So let me ask you this.
I'm gonna go
Was
find
it
it.
me in person or was it over there in the chat? Which was it?
No, in person. You remember Rick Dermeyer and Steve from Everything HVACR? They used to do their live streams on Sundays. I was like,
With his
personally,
wife?
I was like hurt for. I was like, fucking Ted, I
The
like
guy
this
that-
dude. It's one of the guys I
Did it-
looked up to, and now he's calling me an asshole on a live stream for what?
Was
did
it
I
the
do?
guy that did it with his wife talking about?
Yes, the guy that did it.
Okay,
with his,
so here's what happened, and the other guy was in here. I got you mixed up with
you're talking about this guy right here, Everything HVACR. He was there that night as well.
well, you sure I wasn't talking about him?
No, you were talking
'Cause
clearly.
me and
was
him
talking
kind
about
of,
me.
back and forth. He's kind of
A what?
we nothing. We've just been blunt with each other. Me and that
Yeah.
guy. That guy you
Okay.
just showed right there. What's
Yeah,
his name?
Steve from
Yeah,
Everything
he's pretty
HVACR.
cool, but me
He's
and him
real
have-
cool.
Yeah, we've been kind of blunt with each other once or twice. I don't think it was anything.
Personal.
No,
get it.
not that I know of. I mean, certainly
Well,
not from
like I
me.
said, I didn't take offense. I did. I took offense for a minute.
What did I say it for? What did I say that for?
I don't know. I was probably drunk, to be
Were
honest.
you
with you.
on the?
I was probably being an asshole. You're probably totally
I don't
justified in
drink.
doing it.
I don't drink, so I don't really mix well with drunks. But I don't know if you're drunk or not. I don't remember it. Normally, I have an eidetic memory, and I can remember anything.
I'm
that I've
gonna,
seen.
I'm gonna look it up. It doesn't really matter. All I knew
Sure it
was I was
matters.
like, I like
Sure, it
fucking Ted.
matters.
I
Yeah, it
like
matters.
Ted. I was like, now this guy thinks I'm some kind of asshole. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. I like
least you're in-
Ted,
At least
and I
you're in
want to
good company.
implore everybody to go over to Ted's channel because he doesn't need me to promote him. Christ, if anything, Ted, will you promote me, please? I need that. Ted's got a substantial following. He's got a great channel. That series you did where you rebuilt your office was awesome. I loved it. I was glued. That was gold.
Who's nasty?
That's
HVAC?
Pat Nastakowski. And
Yeah. I don't know. I know him, but who's Steve? Who's he talking about? Steve Lav? Steve Lav's a buddy of mine, man.
He might be talking about everything HVACR, Steve. Who knows? Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that everything dude, is that really him? Is that the real one there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because he's got a wrench. Nah, he's a pretty cool dude.
He is a cool
we've
dude.
been blunt on we've been on a couple of late night stream, live deals and hangouts and had a little fun with it, just whatever. He can hang, he can take it.
Yeah, he can't take it. I can't take it.
Sure he can.
I'm putting that link back in the chat, guys. If anybody else wants to come on, Steve, you want to come on here?
Well, guys, I am going to roll out because that's not going to get done on time.
Hey, Will, thank you very much, bud.
Supposed to be working? Are you supposed to be working, Will?
Yeah, I've been redesigning an existing building, and it's driving me crazy because the program
What do you do?
sucks.
You're an
mainly
architect
controls. This is an indoor air quality monitoring and control system. So whenever the basically labs, we can bring the spaces down that are supposed to be 8 changes per hour down to 4 in occupied or 2 in an occupied mode. And if somebody decides to, dump a gallon of chemicals on the floor because they were stupid and not paying attention, it'll pick it up. Or if there's a big class going on, the CO2 levels rise, we basically do a call for more ventilation and basically clean the space out. Just
is that all automated? Like automated?
Fully automated. Yep.
That's cool. What do you work for? A university or something?
This actually is for a university, but I don't work for them. I work for the for the rep.
What part of the country are you in? Like where are you located?
Right now, I'm located in Florida.
Nice.
Well, you do know it's like 10:18 p.m.
Yep, I do know that.
Saturday night.
It's already Saturday?
Yeah, why ain't you off work?
Well, because I better get this done because I need to turn it into submittals, and the engineer is already asked a couple of times. I was basically handed this last week and said, here, you need to do this. So.
Got you, man. Well, it's good to meet you, man. Maybe I'll catch up with you some other time.
Absolutely.
Very nice. Thank you.
See you later, guys. Thank you
very much, guys. We'll talk to you later, Will.
Bye.
All right.
He seemed like an all right guy.
Very nice guy. Very nice guy. Controls guy.
And what about Steve here? He said Ted don't even know. How's he gonna say I don't know him?
Well, let's let Steve speak for himself.
Man, I've known that dude. We've been around some chats and stuff before.
Steve, welcome to the show.
There he is. Now, if I don't know him, how do I know that's him? That's everything HVAC right there.
Yeah.
Everything HVACR.
Don't nobody sound like this.
Wow, Steve, your audio sounded good, bro.
Because I recognize that background. I was asking him about that wall one time.
You always worried about my wall. I told you to come over and paint the damn thing.
I said I was asking about it. I have an eidetic memory now that I don't need to ask again. See, I told you he was what you said I said he was. Well,
What
let
you
me
said
tell
I
you
said he
something,
was.
Ryan. Let me tell you why I know your memory's messed up, Ryan.
Yeah.
I have never called anybody that.
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
it wasn't me.
No, it must have been someone who looked just like
No,
you. It's
you
all
never
good.
heard me say. You've never heard me
It-
say that.
It was said in jest that night after Ryan got off. Let's be real.
Are you saying I said it?
I'm not even sure you said that, but
I didn't.
there was something said when you got off. It was said in jest.
What is
Well,
it?
maybe so, but I didn't.
Ryan, you were right. You were drunk,
I was.
and
Whatever.
that's what happened.
It's all good. I don't care. All
It's
I
all
I
know
didn't
is
say.
all good.
I didn't say that word.
I mean,
I've never.
that's the story. I was there. I mean,
Yeah, I don't call
know what you
names.
said, but
it
I
may
don't
have been
call
something.
names.
You know, I totally probably I deserved it. It's all good. It's all good. The
Nobody's
point.
ever heard me cuss since the 7th grade, and nobody's ever heard me call anybody that.
The point is, Ted's a great dude. He's a straight shooter, which I
No, I
like.
didn't say all that. No, I didn't say any
I
of
like-
that. No, I
I
just
think
said
you're
I
right.
didn't call anybody that name. No, I didn't say
All right.
I'll be a straight shooter, yeah, but I don't know about great guy and all that. I don't know if
I didn't say great guy. I said straight shooter. Did I say great guy? I may
said
have.
I don't know what the fuck you said. I didn't say
great
nothing.
dude or something. I mean,
Anyway,
dude, he ain't even listening.
All right.
I'm not giving nobody props or hate.
Brian, people
Ted's
don't
not
listen to you, man. People
Ted's
don't
not a
listen
great-
to you. Don't you know that?
This dude.
Come on, that was a shot. You
This
got to admit
fucking
that was good.
All right. Ted's not a great guy. He
I
is a
still know
straight
what's going
shooter.
on.
We'll give him
Still
that.
know what's going on.
Steve, how the hell are you? What the hell have you been up to? No one's listening to me anyway. So it is.
I'm
what
great.
it
I'm not
is.
even sure why I'm here either. I just
said that because just now he said he didn't even hear what you said when you had just said it. That's why I said nobody listens to you.
Ted's a button pusher. He really is.
I
Button
wasn't
pusher.
listening.
Who started it?
I've had a couple tonight, anyways. I'm not.
Dude, I've never called anybody an a-hole. I'm a Christian man. I don't
I'm
do
just trying to have a conversation here. And Ted, Jesus Christ.
that. Never done it.
I didn't think you said a-hole.
I didn't. But I might have said something. I might have said he's a drunk, whatever.
I'm going to pull it up. I'm actually going to go back and screenshot it, and we'll clarify. It did. I said it was something like that.
Okay,
I was
pull it up.
clearly-
We'll wait.
No, I'm
Make
not
it a
doing it
short.
right
Why
now.
we ain't
How
doing
the
that.
hell am I going to do that? I'll go back and
How
do
you
it.
gonna do it?
Ryan,
You can't
Ryan will
multitask?
edit it. Ryan will edit it beautifully. That's
Oh,
for
whatever.
goddamn
That's
That's for
one thing,
goddamn
Ted.
sure.
He was commenting on my videos afterwards. He was like, all this editing, it doesn't pay off. And you're right. All the editing, it doesn't pay off. You try to make a good, you take the video, you edit it. And I'm pretty artistic with the way I like to do my video editing. But you're right,
I'm
Ted.
not any good at it. That's probably why I was saying that is because I can't do it.
But you're
I'm
right.
not any good at
It doesn't gain any monetary value. If anything, it may just gain entertainment value, but there's no monetary value to the extensive editing.
It is a beautiful.
I like to do it because
what you do, though. Like it's what even me trying to edit. Like I've stopped. I'm just like send it. Like
I just need. That's what I need to do. I'd be like, here's what I'm fixing. There
I don't
it
have
is.
time to do hardly what I do.
Send it down the line.
Wait a
But
minute.
Let's video it and put it out there.
Yeah.
If he left, how's he going to have the footage? You said he's going to.
It's
I
on
thought you
YouTube.
said after
dude.
he left. After he left, somebody said
he was leaving. He was leaving. He left because he was. I think your daughter was going to bed or something, and you were jumping off.
Jumped off the live stream.
It's on
Oh,
YouTube.
I got you.
Yeah, that's how.
So they didn't cut the stream off.
No, you guys kept going. And then
So it was that
kid,
guy.
when's the last
Hey, by the
time
way,
you stopped? When's the last time you stopped talking when the stream was over?
Oh, I don't know. I don't usually until mine cuts off. But what happened to those guys anyway? That guy and his wife.
They're still Rick's still putting out good videos.
But they were live every Sunday night. Did they quit that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. We've talked about coming back and doing them together, but it just, I don't know. I liked Rick. You know what I liked most about Rick's live streams were the 30 minutes before we went live, where it was the arguing and the screaming at each other, trying to get it working. Steve, was that in Louisville where the truck went off the bridge and was hanging and dangling off this side? I see that's reemerged in the news lately because now all the cameras from like the truck. Did you see that? I'm sure you've seen it on your end, but the truck came across and then the truck hit it.
The truck swerved at her.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
Eddie.
pretty obvious.
Yeah,
Louisville's just crazy. We arrested the number one golfer in the world today at the PGA at Valhalla. It was
today,
just like, today,
wow.
This morning.
What'd he do?
Like 6 a.m.
Drunk?
No,
drugs?
No, he was trying to get into the PGA to play his round of golf.
That's so fucking Billy Matt. No, what's the
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler.
But you don't think maybe he thought that it was blocked off for him and that the golfers were supposed to go ahead in and that the regular traffic?
Well, unfortunately, they weren't letting people in, and there was a death on the road. There's an accident on the road that morning, right at that time. So they had traffic stopped, and they were allowing some of the PGA cars, because they're labeled, to go through to let people in, the people that were supposed to be in. But even they weren't. There's no real parking, so they were like taking shuttles to the golf course. There's like you can't drive in and park.
But
so the PGA cars were
purposely did that.
No, he was trying to go around and get in, and it was a confusing situation with the whole accident, and the person died, and he was trying to get in, and I
don't know anything about this. Should he? Let me ask you this, Steve. Should he have been arrested? Was it a legitimate arrest, or did they arrest him not knowing who he was? I'm confused.
Oh, I'm not sure they knew who he was. I'm not sure it was legitimate or non-legitimate. It was all like, it was a cluster. And
he was like frantically trying to get in there.
He got.
But another thing is that an accidental crime is still a crime.
And then they let him back in. He made it to jail, took a picture, and then they got him back at the golf course by 10 o'clock. So let's say that.
So they
if I'd have done that, I wouldn't have been at the golf course at 10 o'clock. I'm just saying.
I'd probably still be there trying to call mom.
We'd still be there trying to get out.
Ted, we've got a question for, I'm assuming you and Steve, because no one wants to ask me this question. This is coming from Second Out Useless Eaters. Hey, gentlemen, I'm currently 20, working in the HVAC business. Any good advice for the future? What do you say, Ted, for a 20-year-old who's just in it? What do you tell a 20-year-old?
I'd take your advice, Ted, too. You've been around longer than me. Go ahead.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is just what I believe. In the near future, the trades is really going to be where the money is. Don't waste your time and money on a bunch of college. We have entry level people, and I'm talking entry level is $30 an hour. Any decent amount of at all above beginner apprenticeship, anything. If you can do anything on your own, you're worth 40 to 45.
Yes.
And I have installers. Actually, they're not paid by the hour. But if you add up their jobs, at the end of the year and you add up what they make, they're essentially making $100 an hour. So I'd say it's a pretty good trade. Now, you have to be mechanically inclined. You have to be good with your hands. You have to have some common sense. And you'll know within a year or two if you should ditch it or not. But if you can gain any step up, on the ladder from helper to apprentice to where they're letting you do anything on your own, stick with it and make it a career, because eventually You're either going to be a really high paid employee with great time off and benefits, or you're going to be a company owner.
Yeah.
And,
Can I
and
add
that's
something
just,
to that, Ted?
that's my
Also,
advice.
I would recommend if you get in with a good company like Ted's company and you're, accepted and working, take the time to invest in yourself and do some learning on your own. Because, there's plenty of good, content out there where you can learn
Absolutely.
gas
Good
furnaces,
point.
heat
It's a good
pumps.
point. Invest
Yes.
in yourself. That's
Invest in yourself.
a really good theory. Now it's hard to get to work for us because we require drug testing, and you have to
And
to be familiar with several drugs and at least be a regular user of one. But if you can't pass that drug test, then you're not going to start out with us.
Oh man, I could
I
probably
may
get
be a
hired.
Christian and I may not call names, but I'm still a hippie.
I would give a little bit of advice too. Is first of all, start where I started and defer to the smart guy up here who's been around longer than you have. Listen to the people who are there to teach you.
Shows you I'm old right there.
I feel old too, man. But I've learned from your generation. Our guy just retired. I don't know, it's probably been 2 years ago, and he was around your age, maybe a little bit older, and that's the guy I called. When I needed
man,
I had a question, that's who I called.
The best ones I've come across in this industry are the ones that started out just as a helper. They were a gopher. They ran back and forth to the truck. And once they had enough common sense to start saying, what can I carry back when I'm bringing something, are you finished with this? And you carry something back, and then your mechanic is thinking, hey, he's a good helper.
Absolutely.
I tell him to be in the job with me, and before the best helper knows what you need before you need it, because they're in the job with you. They know what's happening and they know what's going on. Exactly.
Right.
They're feeding you the tools when you need them.
You ready for your other pouch? Are you ready for your tray? You ready for your metal tray? You ready for your torches? I'll go get your torches for you. Or better yet, he's already there with them, and he sees what you're finished with, and he grabs this and takes it off, and he makes the most of his trips.
Absolutely.
Then you start to think, this guy's smart enough for me to start letting him dry fit up the PVC and glue it. This guy's smart enough for me to teach him how to cut and weld copper. This guy, and those are the best guys in the field. Every single time I took one out of school, it was the biggest waste of my time and probably their time in their life. Now, I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying every time I took one. That's just been my experience. I felt like they needed to go back to school and stay there and then just eventually learn to teach school because they didn't belong in the field. That's just been my experience. I hope you didn't start in school, and I'm sorry if you did.
I mean, I wish I had some school, but that's not who I want my teacher to be either.
I did go to school. My father unfortunately passed away when I was 14, but he was a rental property owner. So I had a lot of Saturday mornings, weekends, helping him fix plumbing or a door or a window or whatever it was. Yeah. I was always there helping him fix that particular problem at these rentals because he was the man who fixed the shit at the rentals. And then he died, and when I was 13 and I went through high school, I had a little bit of a hard time with all of that. You lose your dad, the man. But then I was like, let me go to school because I was mixed up. I didn't, like I said, Ted, I was partying a little bit in high school. I was drinking, I was smoking, and I needed to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I was like, let me go for HVAC. And let me tell you, 25, I've been doing it 25 years now. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the best at it, but it's provided me an ability to own a home, own cars, have a family, and provide something for my family that, is.
Don't you have a spaceship too?
I do. Look at it. See that
I mean, you're
sun?
sitting in one.
I know.
Dude, not everybody's studio can be, not everybody
It-
can have that.
This is no
Some
studio.
people just got
Look,
fucking
there's my
straight wall.
dehumidifier and my freaking laundry basket behind me. Don't let the spaceship fool you. But yeah,
master of the I can't even talk now. Master of the obvious will get you a long way in this trade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I
Good
agree
old
with
common
Ted.
sense, man.
The helpers that we have, because we are in a union and we get apprentices that come and work with us.
So I don't know. Let me say one more thing about school, and we'll see if see if y'all agree with this.
Sure.
As far as the school goes,
Probably not.
after a couple of years in the field, and you're a helper and you're on installs, and you've learned to cut in boots, you've learned to run line sets, use nail plates, you've learned, let's say, rough ends, and you've learned some change out stuff. If you wanted to approach service, now in the old days, they were so simple, 24 volts, no big deal. You could just learn it. But if you wanted to approach service, if you're a hard enough worker and a hustler to work and learn from your people in the daytime and go to school at night. Now, this is after a couple of years of experience, so that you know what they're trying to teach you, and the school's going to make more sense to you. Free on Leon. Look at that, man. It's about right. But I'm thinking school is not totally useless, but if it's the first thing you go do, I don't think that's a wise investment in yourself. I think you hit the field first, be a helper, find out if you can cut it, find out if you can stand that 130-degree attic, find out if you can stand those trips to the truck and back, and find out if you're a real go-getter. And if you are, maybe you could go take some of this technical stuff that you learn in school, because face it, man, school ain't going to teach you to cut in and run duct. They're not going to, it's just not going to happen. A bunch of specs doesn't do anything for these hands.
Can I interject here real quick? For me, school didn't teach me what I needed to know. It just introduced me to it. It got me my EPA certification, and it gave me some basic knowledge in HVAC. I learned everything.
You didn't know what to do with it yet, right?
I didn't know what to do with it yet. I learned from Ed Dent and Ray Price and the guys at my first heating job that took me in, because I got to credit my HVAC success to my hard work. I was a hard worker. I was the guy saying, here's the screwdriver. Let me get that bucket. Let me get this vacuum pump out of your way. You know what I'm saying? While you do what you need to do. And now
we're talking about.
And now I see the same thing with the people that I'm sent with, my helpers and stuff. The guy that sits around and waits for me to tell him, do this, do that. It kind of just gets on my nerve. I'm like, have a little initiative, at least something. What
at a certain point, and it depends on the helper, because they'll offer me guys sometimes, and I'll be like,
yeah, I don't even want that.
If you're just gonna drag me down and slow me down, like, you're not helping me.
Yeah,
like, you got to be able to keep up too, which is even harder, because I mean, Ted, me and you are from different worlds, kind of. I started in the residential world. I did rough ends, and I did all that stuff, and worked my way. I don't even know how the hell I am where I am now, but it's a lot of work, and that's part of the
commercial. Are you strictly commercial now?
Yeah, I've done commercial for about the last 18 years.
Oh yeah, well, that's a career too, though. I mean, it's just a different world. I mean, if you're not cut out for the residential world, and that's a good place to start, because you'll find out. Because if you ain't cut out for that, you ain't cut out for this, because it's just it's longer walk, it's longer climb.
The thing about commercial is you're dragging your shit from your truck all the way across the parking lot, all the way up that building. and then
That's
all
the
the
thing.
way across that roof. It's a
That's-
lot of physical.
That's the thing that gets me these days.
physical.
I got a short and a video coming up on a VRF that I did, and it's lap ear stairs. It's about a 40-foot building. If y'all have ever climbed lap ear stairs, it's just it's a stair stepper basically.
Yes.
And it's all the way front entrance, probably 100 yards across the building to the roof hatch, and then probably 100 yards back across the building on the roof to the unit, and they're spread out. And what I noticed as I was looking, because I was just kind of looking around, it's a newer building to me. There's no fucking water on the roof.
Dude, 1,000 feet of hose.
An engineer built this somebody designed this building. They've got fucking lights that go off if the fire alarm goes off to tell me to get the fuck off the roof, which is awesome because I've never seen that before. But they didn't think to put a fucking water faucet.
Yeah, but what if you got to clean a coil?
They didn't put a water faucet on the roof. You can't clean a thing without running 400 foot of hose at least.
I'll tell you another thing you can't do. I know you probably don't watch my videos because it's just not your world.
I watch them.
I watch them.
Do. So are you familiar? Are you familiar with my tool kit bag? Are you familiar with what I get out of the truck with?
What you typically get out of the truck with? Because it's like a
screwdriver and
a nut driver and a meter, which is what I get out of the truck with.
Meter,
I get that
8-in-1, and a wiring tool.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm the same way. I don't take my tool bag everywhere. Trust me,
but you're not going to get far in the commercial world making trip. I mean, you should probably
you've got to weigh your options there on how far it is.
With those three things, man, because that's a long, you got.
But it's also a long walk with your tool bag. The VRF I went up with what I knew I could get the panels off with and a meter to test and say, okay, this is what I need.
What do I need
to move
next?
forward?
Find out where you're at
exactly.
first.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that helper be handy then to have him on the ground waiting? You stay here till I see what. Don't even run him up and down. You stay here till I see what I need, and then you bring my bag from the truck and use the excuse of I'm going to see what I need, but what you really want is not to go back and get.
But somebody's got to pay him. That's the problem.
I've invested in a good cart. Good cart.
I've got a cart. And then there's places that if I have a job, I load everything onto a dolly, everything I'm going to need, and you wheel it in and you take it up and then you take it back down the same way. But it depends on every job's different, especially in commercial. There's no black and white. It's all gray area.
And if you take that whole bag with you, you're not going to need nothing but them 3 pieces. And if you take them 3 pieces with you, you're going
need
back
the whole bag.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah, no doubt. I've done some tool bag, some random stuff. I carry very minimal. Even in my tool bag is an MB3B, and it holds the necessities, and that's it. And I can diagnose 90% or more of things with what I have in that bag. And fix.
I got to get on the phone here, man. Jeez. Yep. Maybe I'll be back in a minute. Good to see you, man. I did not call him that, but look it up anyway.
Ted, can we have
on YouTube? It's like you can't.
Yeah, it's not like. Can we have you on the Misfits of HVAC podcast as a primary guest sometime? I'll reach out to you, Ted. I'd love to have you on.
Absolutely no problem with that. As a matter of fact, I think I would enjoy it.
I looking forward to that, guys.
I would too.
Look forward to that. Ted, thank you, sir.
Steve.
See you.
All right, Ryan. Thanks, man.
Yep. Take care, Ted. Ted, holy shit. Guys, if you haven't checked out Anti-DIY HVAC's YouTube channel, please head on over there right now and subscribe. I particularly loved when he bought his new place
shop.
Did you see that, Ted or Steve? Where
Yes. I'm
he
not
got the
Ted.
new
Yes.
fucking place and was cleaning it all out. It was awesome. It was like a paint shop. I think they were painting cars in there before he made it his HVAC place. It was cool.
Well, they were doing something else. He paints cars in there now. He's got it's a nice place.
Yeah. I like Ted. I was trying to give him a hard time, but Ted's a kind of guy who, like, you can't joke around with him too much, or it's like
he's old school, man.
He
He's
is
giving
old
it
school.
to you too. He sounds serious. He's not.
I like
he's
Ted.
not serious half the time. He just sounds
like
that way.
Ted.
Like me, I sound that way sometimes too.
Steve, I've been noticing lately. I've been seeing you a lot on TikTok and Instagram, like the shorts and stuff all over. How's the YouTube channel going? How's life going for you?
I mean, life is good, man. It's hard. I've cut everything down, so it's hard to do this. You know what it is. It's
hard.
I'm moving into different areas in my career, and I'm doing different things, and I've got all this shit going on.
Yeah.
I've been still filming a lot. I've got a lot, but I've been cutting everything down to long YouTube video will turn into a 7-minute TikTok and a short and whatever it is. But
absolutely,
it's all good. I'm just trying to keep out what I can keep out there, man. I'm just doing me as usual.
And what is the name of your YouTube channel for anybody watching that might not know?
Well, it's everything HVACR.
It is good. It is a good channel too. Steve is very knowledgeable and a nice guy. And personally, I would consider him a friend. We got to meet in Chicago. I think we get drunk. No, yeah, we drank some of those beers at the Blue Line.
We had some beers. I had some beers with some guys from Boston too, at the hotel that night. It was a good time. I enjoyed meeting you and Rick, and consider you all friends as well.
Absolutely. Steve from Everything HVACR. Very good, dude. I don't think we're getting any more takers on the coming on, but wow.
I was staying away while you had your first group. I wasn't gonna come in. I had typed it up and I was like,
I gotta say though,
stay away from that.
For just a HVAC double time show, we've been pulling about 26 people the whole time.
I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know how many people you got on each channel. I'm only on the one, but
I can get an overall number here. I'm assuming this is pulling from both channels. I did put it up on both. I don't know why.
I got about half on your channel, so
probably. But yeah,
I got a notification from both.
You know what? I brought it up at the beginning of the podcast. Jennifer has a new podcast, and I should probably figure out the hell that thing's called.
Yeah, you probably should.
Because it's like something archives. Jennifer, where the hell are you? I'm gonna call her real quick.
Well, I emailed her the other day. I was waiting for a response back because they were doing the whole whatever they called it, the mentor thing.
Yeah.
And I never heard back.
Really?
Well, I mean, I heard back initially. I just haven't heard back like moving forward. And I was curious.
We'll see if she answers.
She's got Freon. She's got too much going on at once. She got all
she doesn't answer me.
She ain't gonna answer you. It's fucking 10:50.
You guys hear that?
11 o'clock.
Oh, Brett says he got his mentee. I don't think she's answering.
Brett must be on the other channel. Okay, so I must be the odd man out then. I was low man on the totem pole.
Unsolved Archives.
It makes perfect sense. I'm writing it down. Unsolved archives.
That's what it's called. Hold on. I'm going to try to pull up. Oh, Jason fucking Johnson is in the house. What up?
Yo,
What
Holy
up, my
shit.
guy?
How are you, brother?
what's up, Steve-O? I'm tired.
I'm going to
Heard
kick
that.
that. I'm going to kick that audio down by half. How are you, brother?
Oh, tired, man. It's been kicking my ass lately.
Jason Johnson's coming from the great state of Texas. How in the hell is
Who said it
Texas
was
treating
great?
you? I love Texas. I want to move to Texas.
Honestly, it's been raining a lot.
Gotta move to Kentucky.
No.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
I
First
like
rated capital of the world, bourbon country. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Jason Johnson's been putting out some great quality content lately. Where can people find Jason Johnson? You've got a YouTube channel now, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not like super active on it or nothing like that.
Where would they find you
just-
primarily? Probably Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, I don't know. I have a tough time. I'll be honest, I don't like promoting myself because I throw it out there. If somebody pays attention to it, cool. If they don't, cool. You know, like it's just for fun. I really am. I don't like promoting myself. I don't know, it makes me feel weird.
Well, sorry, I'm trying to do 10 things here. At
I don't
the same
promote anything.
time.
I just
promote.
do you, man. That's what it's about. I didn't get it. I didn't start doing none of this, and I don't promote. I try not to do too much. I don't tell my guys if I got something helpful for them that I think will help them. But other than that, I'm like, it is what it is. I'm just doing me. You can come along for the ride or not.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Jason Johnson, though.
I mean, honestly, Steve-O, it's like what y'all. Sorry, Ryan.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's. I mainly put out a video because, as Steve-O knows, there ain't many of us in the heavy commercial side who put out much content. And I mean, it's not trying to toot our own horn, but it's not residential. You're not just gonna swap out a capacitor and everything's gonna be hunky dory. So, it's hard to learn, and not many places give you much training. So I just try to help somebody else out. That's about it.
Now, I love your content because it's something I do commercial, but it's light commercial. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on rooftop units, a lot of splits, like commercial split systems and stuff. When I see your content, it's like I get to experience something that I don't get to, really touch and feel and get involved in so much. Same with Steve. He's working on some things that I don't get to like really, experience. So it's good to watch that. It's inspiring because at some point, who knows, I got it pretty easy though with the rooftop units.
I take half the time I look back and I'm watching your videos. I'm like, I'll take that rooftop all day.
All right, guys, we've got another guest. You probably all know him, Pat Nastikowski. Nasty HVACR. What's up, brother? Look
My
at that
guy.
beard. What's up, Pat?
That's a nice beard.
Yeah. How's everyone doing?
Pat, full of energy. Mr. Energy over here. How are you, bro?
You look like you're in interrogation, Pat.
What's that?
So, Pat,
you look like you're in interrogation.
Yeah.
You're back to work, I'm assuming. Yeah, I think you've messaged me. I saw you working on some bigger chillers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, 2 weeks in now, so it's going good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you guys ever seen like hockey rink systems. I mean,
Saw one tonight. They're
not
playing. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
working on them or not, but I've seen some videos on these like ice skating rinks and the systems that are involved in ice hockey rinks. That's
Big ass
insanity.
Yeah.
It just
Mhm.
forms all the ice. It's like, I don't know, 3 inches thick. Then they melt that shit all off because they put the paint right in the ice that I'm assuming, because I don't know, but that the entire rink is your evaporator then, right? Is that what's going on there? Basically?
I'm not sure exactly. I've never. Don't let me jump in and talk about ice skating rinks, but they used to do one down in Lexington. And I would see they would bring a portable chiller in, and it was an outdoor, so they would make their own ice rink, and that would turn into. I don't know exactly how all that works. I've never worked on one.
I watched a video on it because they were melting it down because as it's freezing, they incorporate the paint or whatever like lines and shit they need for the game right into the ice. It was quite interesting. If you guys haven't seen any videos on ice skate like rinks, it's cool shit. I wonder what those guys are getting paid to be in charge of the rink, the NHL hockey ice skating rinks. That's got to be a fucking good gig. Probably a high pressure gig too, you know. We have a game tonight.
And more than likely, they probably work for a national mechanical company like MCOR and, companies like that are really big.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. Fucking Pat with his beard is just mesmerizing. Christ almighty. I wish I could, this is about the length I get to where I'm like, it doesn't grow anymore.
This is already on my nerves. I'm ready to shave this shit off.
We had Pat on the show and I asked him about the beard and he said, I didn't grow the beard. The beard grew me.
I was there.
Awesome. We still got 23 people. Oh, here we go. Brett says people? They use brine secondary and ammonia primary or pumped liquid CO2. Okay. I'm assuming.
They're good. I mean, what they're using is
brine secondary. So
look at.
So they're probably using the brine as the ice, right? Is that what the secondary would be? Like the ammonia is the refrigeration cycle.
Yeah.
Cascade.
And I don't know, but what's freezing on the top? Is it brine and water? I don't know. Is that hockey rink?
No, they use that just to get the temperature down low enough.
Okay.
I was going to say I knew a lot of them were ammonia, which I've never messed with ammonia, and that's no joke right there.
Yeah, or are they just pouring water on it to freeze? I mean, that's what's freezing on the top, right?
Yeah,
it's just water.
Yeah, because they run coils along the bottom, and that's what freezes the water.
They freeze Deanna. Can anybody pronounce this word?
Deionized.
Deionized. I almost said deionized. Deionized. Deionized.
Same thing, isn't it? Tomato.
Nice. They use water and they just do a little bit of water at the time to make sure they keep it even. And it was really I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but I was like,
it's a really big ice machine.
I watched a big ice rink thing and how they do it and was like, wow, that was awesome. I was like,
it's
totally
cool. I mean, I've never seen the ice
really cool
rink thing. I know, but I worked on a chiller at Cabela's that cooled the fish tank. And so they were having problems. So when I got there, like soon after the fish guy, they had this apparently a fish genius show up, and he was like, "Oh yeah," there's like this. He was talking about all this stuff, and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting asking questions. I'm like, so why do you? but he could see the fish breathing. He's like, they don't have any oxygen. They're trying to breathe through their gills, but he could see it. And I was like, that's freaking awesome.
Fish whisperer.
He's the fish whisperer. I'm the chiller guy. I'm trying to keep the water cool. He's trying to keep the fish alive.
Wow. So you guys were working hand in hand on an aquarium? What were you working on?
No, not really hand in hand. It was a big aquarium. One you would see if you walked at Cabela's or something like that. Got fish floating around, big, big
What
display.
was it a service call?
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Yeah, the water temperature had hit an alarm point, and they called us.
What was the set point?
I mean, I don't remember exactly, honestly.
50s?
Yeah, no, I think it was warmer than that. I think it was a normal. It wasn't a crazy low temperature or anything. It was like right in the middle. But
and
I don't even remember.
Did you get it fixed, or did you have to quote them for some kind of repair? I'm curious.
No, I mean, no, that's the beauty of service like that is there's no. It's hey, fix it.
Yeah.
They're not asking you for a quote or anything else. They're trying to save their fish.
So what did you end up doing? I'm curious.
I fixed the leak that somebody screwed up in the first place.
Oh, it was a refrigeration leak.
Another master of the obvious thing. I mean, it wasn't anything. It wasn't real special. I mean, it's all the same stuff most of the time.
So again, let me ask: the condenser is the water, or the evaporator is the water? I'm confused. I need you to explain.
It all depends. I mean,
yeah.
It just the medium doesn't matter whether it's air or water. Your evaporator and your condenser is doing the same thing.
All right.
You're trying to you're moving heat. Your condenser
was it air cooled or water cooled?
This was actually an air cooled condenser. The evaporator was water cooled.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never had to work on anything like that. So that's the only reason I'm asking the questions, because I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Couldn't imagine getting a service call. Like,
was it a braze plate heat exchanger?
It's been a long time ago. Now y'all
or shell and tube or what?
I'm trying to remember shit. No, I think it was a braze plate heat exchanger.
I freaking hate those things.
Or did they just throw an egg coil into the water?
No, I mean that's commercial HVAC right there. Welcome to commercial HVAC. They threw an egg coil into the water. That would not surprise me at all. Yeah,
it's awesome. And that's the amazing thing about HVAC is you can work on rooftops, you can work on residential, you can work on fucking Cabela's, fish tanks,
it's all the same
or
crap.
Chillers, or this or that. There's so many. It's so many different things, and all you got to do is get your foot in the door, get a good reputation as a hard worker and a good, learner, somebody that wants to learn, and you can really find any position you want. If I wanted to go work on freaking fish tanks at Cabela's, I'm sure I could find a job and convince somebody to hire me, and then I could work on just that type of thing and, learn and grow on that. That's the thing. My biggest problem is that I don't get to see a lot of this different stuff. You know what I mean? And then, but you can, and it's not, you don't have to be a freaking genius to do it. It's
I'm proof of that.
Yeah. Get your head in there, get your foot in the door, work hard, be a hard worker and want to learn, and you can do it. And you can make good money working on specialized shit that a lot of people don't work on because they don't want to put in the hard, the time. And a lot of people get intimidated by bigger equipment and exotic types of systems like big fish tank shit, right, Steve? I mean,
if you really break it down, it's a freaking air conditioner. They're just moving water across the evaporator. There was literally, it was a train condenser. It was a train, probably 10 or 20 ton condenser on the roof. It had a fan and a compressor and a contactor. There was nothing special about it. It was a basic condenser.
And I understand that, but for a lot of guys, that might be intimidating, you know, for someone who might be doing residential or light commercial work. And the point I'm trying to make is it's not out of this world. It's not, you're not reaching for the stars to think that you can get paid good, better money, better than the next guy working on things that really anybody can do if they put in the time and educate themselves in that.
I scream at our guys. I'm like, every time when I see our young guys, I say, tell me, what's the refrigeration cycle?
No.
We might be at the truck. We might be in front of a unit, and I'll do it multiple times a day. What's the refrigeration cycle? Tell me what's happening. And it helps sometimes when it's in front of them and it's a rooftop unit or, you know, something that they can see. When it's not in front of them, it's harder for them because they can't see it. But you got four components, and in every refrigeration cycle, regardless of what it is, whether it's a low temp, high temp, medium temp, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And there's other bells and whistles on top of that for other things, but the four components are the same and the refrigeration cycle is the same. That's what they need to understand in the beginning. What's the basic refrigeration cycle? And they need to be able to repeat it over in their head.
Steve,
I went from residential to heavy commercial, so if I could do it, anyone can.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
What an awesome!
We all agree.
I'm so glad I did this little impromptu double time show tonight. HVAC overtime guys obviously couldn't do their show for whatever reason. Hopefully everybody's all right. Bill put out that there was an HVAC emergency. I don't know what that means, but those guys are awesome.
They made a show.
We're all fans of the HVAC overtime, right, fellas? Mm-hmm. Yep. So hopefully everybody's
kind of looking forward to them. And I saw you, and I was like, "Oh, all right."
I've done this a couple of times. Whenever they can't come on, I just scramble. I was like, I told my wife, I'm going live tonight, so shut those kids up. And
that's why I was laughing a minute ago, because my wife was looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing?"
You know what, though? A lot of times, an unplanned talk with good friends, and you know what? It's fun because Jason Johnson, Pat, Steve, you've all been good friends with me and have come on various shows, that Misfits show, and we respect and like all of you guys. And I'm just pumped that somebody actually showed up tonight. So I definitely appreciate everybody. Will Speed, Zaya, Ted. Was there anyone else?
Brian Sanders.
Brian Sanders. He will be the guest 2 weeks from now on the Misfits. So I'm excited to talk about his experience from moving where he's at now at Next Tech to Colsys. That's going to be an awesome episode. I like Brian Sanders. That goatee of his is out of control. I mean, it's no nasty HVACR beard or anything, but you know, everybody's got to start somewhere, right, Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way West Virginia.
I want to hear how you're doing, Pat. How do you like in the new job?
New job's doing good. A lot of
talk about it, man. Let's hear it.
That's right now, so there's not a whole lot to talk about. That.
Oh, come on.
Killer, so nothing too bad going on.
What are you learning?
Which way the airflow goes?
Well, that's a start.
Is it a lot of big? Is a lot of big commercial stuff for you, or what are you into now exactly?
It's been a lot of rooftops right now, and then a little bit of hydronic cooling too. So,
what were you doing before?
Same stuff, but with refrigeration added to it. It was more restaurants. No, this is more office.
Oh, that's where you need to be, man. Stay away from that roofer's crap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta wonder if out of the four of us, who would win in a arm wrestling championship? We should all get together in person. You're in Kentucky. I'm in Pennsylvania. He's in Texas, and you're in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
We should all find a central location and have an arm wrestling, HVAC arm wrestling.
Central location from there.
Cleveland. I think Cleveland.
Cleveland. I'm not going to Cleveland. Nobody's going to Cleveland.
Would that be like Kansas?
Kansas.
Come up with a better place.
Oh, well, Cleveland's only an hour from me. I don't know. I was just saying.
Let's go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Hey,
Not really
guys.
in the middle, but okay.
DCHVAC, first time watching this series. Hey, thank you. Did you just text a $1.99 or did you actually? He is actually coming up as a future guest too. I don't know if you guys have checked out Daniel Campbell on DCHVAC. He'll be coming on with Mr. Mikey Pipes on the Misfits of HVAC podcast here shortly. I don't know. Let me see when they're coming on.
I've seen Daniel. He's got some good stuff.
He's got real good stuff.
I watch him for the water stuff, man, because I see a lot of water, and there's not a whole lot of HVAC guys out there doing water. I mean, that's right.
Absolutely. Daniel
That's
Campbell.
why I called my guy here not too long ago on the water because I was like, man, I don't know.
I live with water cooled. I'm a hydronics guy.
Oh, that'll be on July 20th. Look forward for that show on the Misfits of HVAC. We got Mikey Pipes and Daniel Campbell. They're the crew working in New York. Great channels from both of those guys. So, Daniel, thank you very much. Awesome. His channel's grown leaps and bounds, and it's still growing. He's going to outdo all of us here shortly. But
he's a smart kid.
He is a smart kid. I like it.
Yep. He's with Mikey Pipes. That doesn't hurt.
Yes. And they're doing smelting now. Have you guys seen this where they're melting down the melting? I love it. I love it. The smelting, they're melting brass and copper and all sorts of shit. So very interesting, awesome stuff coming out of there. That whole crew over there. So, all right, guys, what do you think? I mean, we've got an hour and 42 minutes. This is longer. This is probably the longest live stream I've done.
We haven't gone that long. You have gone that long.
Yes, I know. I know. I love it. And all thanks to the HVAC overtime, guys. Hopefully everything is all right over there. But I noticed they weren't broadcasting tonight. So I figured I got a lot of HVAC guys fiending, waiting for some HVAC talk stuff. I might as well swoop on in and take it up. But Mr. Pat, Nasty HVACR, Jason Johnson, as always, a good friend of mine, Steve from Everything HVACR. We go back a long way, and I consider him a good friend of mine. I and Ryan. Check out my channel, Hughesman HVAC. Check out our podcast, Misfits of HVAC.
Hey,
oh,
there's my puppy.
Look at that puppy. Very cute. Very nice. Very nice. So, guys, I appreciate everybody coming on. Any last words from anybody before we go? Take that as a no.
I want to know if Pat's actually like alive, or is this just like a cardboard cutout of him?
Yeah.
Cardboard cutout.
Pat likes to come on, say hello, and just enjoy being here. Right?
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
Right.
I like that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to finish out this live stream with the video I made for the HVAC overtime guys. They were our very first sponsor on the Misfits. So I've got it queued up right here. Steve, Pat, Jason, Ted, Zaya, Brian, everyone who's been watching. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Check out the show tomorrow night, Misfits of HVAC. I'll see you guys later.
This episode brought to you by HVAC Overtime. Hated by critics, adored by their fans. The HVAC Overtime show broadcasts every Friday night at 9 p.m. on YouTube. Adam, Bill, Chris, and that crazy Canadian Joe meet up every Friday night to entertain you. And the best part is, it costs nothing. Unless you're Brian Sanders. So just hit that subscribe button, sit back, and enjoy. So let the HVAC Overtime Show take you places you never thought you'd go before. Every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.